From the Oklahoma Newsroom, it's time for the weekly Energy FC update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with a couple guests from the Energy, the coach, of course, Jimmy Nielsen, and the reigning USL Player of the Week, it's Miguel Gonzalez. Miguel, you guys, well, you had a great weekend. We'll talk about that in a minute, but both you and Jose Angulo, 2 goals, an assist in that match against Colorado Springs, a 4-3 win. You've 4 goals, 4 assists this season, tied for or holding the lead on the team. What's been the key for you consistency-wise? Because you've really been able to put some balls in the back of the net this season.
Yeah, I think it's just the work, day to day. You just go out there and just keep working, trying to get better. Mm-hmm. And this time, you can see it on the field, and that as long as I can do anything to help the team, that's all that matters.
I know you said after the match on Saturday night that Jose has been a guy that has been really good to have up front with you. What's that match been like as you two have both been scoring goals and sort of on a little tear there?
Yeah, he came in and, as soon as you look at him, you know that he's a good player. He has a good touch on the ball. He's smart. Mm-hmm. He's played a high level, and you can tell, just by looking at him. I also mentioned that he's the type of player that I grew up playing with, like creative and, is able to take guys on and hold the ball up well. And, it's easy to play with players like that, and it's been good so far.
Yeah, evident. I mean, the evidence is right there. Jimmy, what's impressed you most about what Miguel's done here of late for your guys?
Well, from the first time we played against Miguel, he played as a left winger in Colorado. He was a threat. Mm-hmm. He scored some goal against Oklahoma. I think
3 or 4 is the number, just to refresh your memory, unfortunately.
I think we're all trying to put that behind us. But since he came to Oklahoma City, first of all, fantastic attitude day in and day out. Do we play him on the left? Do we play him as a forward? Do we play him as a number 10? He's constantly dangerous. Mm-hmm. And one thing he always will give you is everything he has. He's a hard-working guy. He gives everything, every game, every training session. He's a top pro, and he's a pleasure to work with, and he's a heck of a good teammate.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that Colorado Springs match. 4 goals for your guys total. Set a couple of season and even franchise records at 4 goals, most scored in a home game. It tied for the most in a game in franchise history. Lots of highlights to look at here. Combined 7 goals by the 2 teams was the highest scoring home game in franchise history. Jimmy, how are you guys able to put that kind of night together? I'm sure you would have liked to see a little lower number on the visitor side, but to have that kind of offensive explosion.
I think we did extremely well from the beginning. And we came down a goal, and we had a little mountain to climb there, because we gave a goal away that we shouldn't have given away, and lost a little confidence and a little rhythm in the game. Then Miguel scored the fantastic header, and just before halftime, Angulo had a fantastic finish, and we're up 2-1. And that's where we're supposed to be, in my opinion, because I thought we did well in first half, and then we came out really strong in second half and scored another 2 fantastic goals. And then we maybe got a little too satisfied, made 2 unnecessary penalties, and I think we got a little unnecessary excitement in the game, because in my honest opinion, we're the better team on the night, and I think it was a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, well, and it did bear out that you guys did win, even with a couple of goals that Colorado Springs put up there. But Miguel, Jimmy mentioned earlier, you were in Colorado, played for this franchise for a while. What was it like for you to be on the field against them? Energy, Colorado Springs have played already 3 times. This was game number 4 between the franchises. But what's that like for you to be out there on the field against such a familiar jersey out there?
Yeah, it's a special games. You always have that competition against old teammates, and we're pros, and we always want to win. They feel the same way against us, and that's how I felt against them. And you always not play a little bit harder, but you want to win a little bit more just because you were there and you know what it's like, and you know that the little competition exists, and it's special games and then fun to play.
Yeah, we were talking before we rolled camera that it was Saturday night. Anybody that was in Oklahoma City knows what the temperature was like out there. Miguel, from your perspective, what was that like to be on the field on a night? It's been hot off and on, but it was sweltering out there. How does that affect things?
Yeah, it's pretty hot to start off the game, but once the sun goes down, you don't really feel it as much on the field. And the other thing too is like you can't think about it too much. And we go out there and just like say like, oh, it feels good. We put positive thoughts in our head. We say like we've played them worse than this, so get that on your mind and get the mind right to play the game, and it helped.
Jimmy, do you do anything different on a night like that where there are pretty extreme conditions, or do you just have to ignore it?
No, you can't ignore it. It drains you, that heat. It's a little bit more on the players. They got to be able to manage the game. We can't do high aggressive pressure for 90 plus minutes. We got to manage that a little bit better and make sure we're on the same page. Now we go high pressure, now we go a little low on the field and make sure we're 100% on the same page. You can't just go on 100 miles per hour for 90 plus minutes. You got to manage it a little bit.
Well, you guys get a little weather break at least this weekend. You're off to the West Coast. An 8:30 start on Sunday against LA, which my favorite nickname maybe in all of soccer, Los Dos, Galaxy 2. It's going to be televised here locally on News 9 Plus, streaming on the USL's YouTube channel. Then Wednesday, back here, 7:30 start at Taft against Reno, 1868 FC. Saturday, again at Taft, 7:30, Real Monarchs. Wednesday, by the way, USL Game of the Week on ESPN3 or the ESPN app, or again locally on News 9 Plus. Of course, if fans just want to go and watch, they can do that too. But 3 games in a week, Jimmy. How do you approach it? You've done this, it seems like, repeatedly this year. Do you approach it the same way?
Yeah, well, we got to go all in on the game on Sunday and get the best result we can, and then we'll focus on the next game. There's not planned any specific rotations or. We're all in on Sunday, and that's the main focus. We'll get that game away, and we're all in on the Wednesday game. Get the 3 points there, and all in for the Saturday game. The main focus is we stay focused on the individual game and not looking too far ahead.
Miguel, as we mentioned, you guys have gone through some wacky schedule stretches this year. Kind of got easier with 1 game a week there before, but as a player, do you do anything different to try to make sure, as Jimmy said, you're able to play at maximum each game? Does nutrition change, recovery change, anything like that from the player standpoint?
I think the coaching staff does a good job of managing us, when it comes to like a tough schedule like this. So we don't really have to do much, just stay focused and stay in the rhythm, and keep that consistency going. And the rest is just like Coach said, like take 1 game at a time and give it all we got.
Yeah. By the way, big info about that Saturday game against Real Monarchs for fans out there. It's the back to school celebration, which I don't know about anybody else, but I can't believe we're talking about back to school. But 2 big items for fans: the return of the fidget spinner. Everybody loves the fidget spinner. First 2,000 fans through the gates get one, courtesy of First Fidelity Bank and Energy FC. And I mean, every kid needs a good fidget spinner to take back to school, right? I mean, isn't that what we want to send our kids back to school with? But then kids eat free also, 12 and under. Any kid with a purchase ticket will eat free. Just go to the fan services booth and get a coupon for hot dog, chips, and a drink. I mean, you guys, the season is still well underway, but now kids are back. There's going to be some high school events happening on y'all's field. Is it kind of, I mean, I imagine the juice will be flowing with a lot of kids around. That'll be a fun night, Jimmy.
Well, for the most part, it's always very, very attractive and entertaining to be at Taft Stadium. And the more people that are out there, normally you'll see better quality on the field too. The players like playing in a good environment with a lot of fans in the stands and creating that good atmosphere. Very often you'll see more intensity in the games as well.
All right, lastly, I can't have you guys here and not ask about the big Gold Cup match. And Miguel, I'm sorry to bring up Mexico. Unfortunately, not playing the U.S. tonight. You were born in Mexico, raised largely on the West Coast, I know. But give me some thoughts, both of you, on what you expect in the final, Miguel.
Well, hopefully a good game. That's what we're all hoping for. And I think the U.S. will take it just because of the quality they have and what they got. Ideally, I would like to see the underdog win it, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Jamaica getting through Mexico and not setting up that U.S.-Mexico match, Jimmy. That's a surprise right there.
It is. It's very impressive what Jamaica have done. I think their goalkeeper, Andrew Blake, have done a fantastic job for Jamaica. He's normally playing for Philadelphia Union. He's been fantastic. The best goalkeeper so far in the Gold Cup. but I have a feeling that U.S. gonna win tonight. I'm going 3-1 the Americans.
We got a score there, Miguel. You wanna venture a score?
Let's say Jamaica 1-0.
Oh, wow, okay. All right, well, we'll have to see how it goes, guys. And for more information on the Energy, you want to go to energyfc.com for all your ticket information, game time, TV, all those fan items out there. They have all that information right there. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.